Fast Defense is a program I developed where we teach adrenal stress response training in short, reproducible modules. What I do is I travel around the country and internationally to martial arts schools to allow them to implement these adrenal stress response concepts very quickly into their curriculum and also to teach seminars to the general public. Fast Defense stands for Fear Adrenal Stress Training. Most self-defense courses are what we call a technique-based paradigm, which means you learn how somebody attacks you, learn some sort of position or attack scenario, and then you learn all the various techniques to learn how to back this person away, get rid of them, defend yourself, etc. Well, the number one factor in effective self-defense is learning how to deal with the adrenaline fear rush that everybody experiences. Fast Defense has been called the missing link in martial arts because we are covering the crucial adrenaline stress training that is absolutely important for someone to be able to defend themselves in a real situation. For self-defense to be effective, you've got to cover three crucial modules. I call these the ABCs. We go into awareness in Fast Defense, awareness of what does a predator look for? What is the body communication that draws them in like a magnet to find their victim? Awareness of what happens to us biochemically, emotionally, physically when we get into an adrenaline rush that can keep us from responding to the situation effectively. The second module is the B, which stands for boundaries. The most powerful self-defense skill there is our ability to talk our way out of a situation. Most attacks are precipitated by some sort of verbal altercation. If the altercation is dealt with correctly, it almost always de-escalates at that point or stops. But what happens is most people screw up when they get into this verbal altercation. It's usually easier to hit the jerk than it is to actually do a good verbal demeanor, but it's the most important set of skills of all. And then finally, we get into the C, which is the combat. If all else fails, and what we find over and over again is the awareness and the verbal skills, when they're done correctly, almost always work like magic. If they don't work, then it's time to flip that switch and to use your combat skills. And we teach very simple skills. We have a maximum of 5 techniques in a Fast Defense because research has shown in the adrenaline rush, the part of the brain that's functioning, the low brain, is only capable of handling about 5 bits of information. That translates to maybe 5 techniques. Now, you look at a professional boxer, they'll use 2 or 3 techniques in their whole entire bout. So the same thing happens in a real fight. You want to keep them very, very simple, gross motor skills, because fine motor skill goes right out the window, along with all those fancy martial arts skills, and you want to use the adrenaline as your best friend, as the jet fuel for your fight if you need to. We have a great program called the Fast Cats for Children. CATS is an acronym for Child Assertiveness Training Series. What we do in that is we teach them how to deal with a bully. Kids deal with bullies all day long. Kids are brutal with each other, and it's really important to teach these kids how to use non-physical skills to back away most bullies, and it works very, very effectively. The second module that we teach in that program is anti-abduction, and that is to teach a child how to identify a potentially hostile or dangerous adult. We teach the kids how to be aware, how to keep their distance, and use their verbal defense to keep from becoming lured in by an attacker. Then, let's say that that doesn't work. Well, we take it up a notch, and we teach the children how to use the crucial adrenaline to fight for themselves if they need to. And it's kind of like holding onto a cat that doesn't want to be held. People think, how can a child fight back against an adult? It's pretty amazing if that child learns how to use that adrenaline and that go-for-it spirit and to fight like a cat. It's amazing what they can do. And again, we're not teaching the children how to duke it out with an adult. We're teaching them how to do simple skills to do whatever they can to get away from that person. Women's self-defense is a really huge issue in our society right now, and it's so important. The sad fact is that 80% of assaults on women are done with verbal threat alone. Another fact is that 3/4 of attacks on women are done by someone that they know. It's one thing when you're out in the dark alley and it's an attack. It's a whole other thing when it's someone that they know. They may even like the person or have to work with them, etc. There's a lot of gray area there, and there's a lot of socio-conditioning that keeps the women from taking care of themselves. So what we do in Fast Defense is we teach them awareness of what is the socio-conditioning that you get that can keep you from responding. For example, many women are taught to be nice, to not make a scene, not hurt someone's feelings. Well, we have to overcome that if we're going to get them to defend themselves. It doesn't matter what the skill is. If they can't overcome that social conditioning, they won't be able to do anything at all. So with awareness of that, it gives them many more choices on how to deal with a situation effectively. We also go into very simple skills. You know, for a woman of any size, she can fight against somebody larger and stronger than them. The Bullet Man has been around for about 30 years. And it started off in a program called Model Mugging, and now we use it in FAST. Now, people saw the head, and they say, wow, it looks like a silver bullet. So hence the name Bullet Man stuck, and we've been using it ever since. My martial arts background started off with Goju-Ryu Karate. Started that when I was 15 years and did that for a number of years until I joined the military. In the military, we did a kind of an eclectic jumble of different martial arts: boxing, kickboxing, wrestling, karate. We just kind of put them all together and would get in and spar and play in different ways. Traveled to Thailand in the military, played with the Thai kickboxer guys. Went to Korea, played with the Taekwondo guys. When I came back to the States, I learned some Wing Chun, I learned some more Taekwondo, and I got into the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. When I went and lived in the Philippines, I did the Filipino arts, which I consider my favorite art because they're just so beautiful and a lot of fun, and they have a lot of application to a real-life situation.